Welcome to our deep dive, everyone. Today, Bosnia and Herzegovina and the innovations they've come up with.
Really a fascinating topic. Yeah, lots to dig into.
I know, right? We've got articles, we've got some research papers.
Even some of your handwritten notes there, I see those.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's so much to cover, I needed to keep track.
Makes sense. Bosnia and Herzegovina, it's got such a rich history of innovation across so many different areas, Ancient bridges and modern tech.
Even wartime ingenuity.
Absolutely. And that's what I think makes this deep dive so interesting. I mean, we're going to be uncovering all sorts of hidden gems, those like aha moments where you're like, wow, I had no idea.
Right, exactly. And more than just the facts and figures, it's about understanding why these innovations matter in the context of Bosnia and Herzegovina's past, present, and future.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, let's jump right in then. One of the things that really caught my eye was the Sarajevo cable car. I mean, it's so easy to overlook, but it was one of the earliest in the entire region.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Built back in the 1890s, if I recall correctly.
Yeah. And what's really cool is that it wasn't just a simple cable car either. I mean, your research, it highlights how they used counterweights and water-powered machinery. It's amazing, given the technology they had at the time.
Yeah, those engineers, they were seriously ahead of their time, To build something so complex with limited resources like that, it's a real testament to their ingenuity.
Seriously, I mean, it makes you think about all the challenges they must have faced, and yet they still managed to create something truly groundbreaking.
And it kind of foreshadows a lot of the stuff we see in Bosnia and Herzegovina today, even alongside their traditional craftsmanship.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, you had those notes about their woodworking and construction techniques using natural materials, right?
I did, yeah. It seems like they've always had this knack for making the most of what they have, But then you see this really interesting contrast.
The lithium deposits.
Exactly. A massive lithium deposits, lithium batteries. Everyone knows how important that is.
Especially now, right? Global demand is just skyrocketing.
Yeah. So this discovery, it has the potential to really turn Bosnia and Herzegovina into a major player,
Yeah.
Electric vehicles, renewable energy. It's a whole new landscape.
I was reading this article you flagged about a company, actually.
Oh, right.
Yeah, they're called Name of a Company, and they're exploring building a huge lithium battery production facility.
Wow. If they pull that off, the economic impact could be massive.
Definitely. But, it wouldn't be a deep dive if we didn't talk about the downsides, too, right?
Of course, we've got to be realistic about the potential environmental impacts, Lithium mining, it's not exactly known for being eco-friendly.
Yeah, that's true. There's definitely a balance to be struck between economic growth and environmental sustainability. And it'll be really interesting to see how Bosnia and Herzegovina navigates that.
Definitely a delicate balance, no doubt. But speaking of balance, let's shift gears a bit, shall we? To cultural innovations.
Oh, I know where you're going with this coffee.
Yeah. Had to bring it up. It's not just a drink in Bosnia and Herzegovina. It's like a whole social ritual.
And so tied to their history, too, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, their Ottoman heritage. It's really present in those unique brewing methods and the whole pace of it,
Yeah.
It's about slowing down and savoring the moment and connecting with people.
It's like they're saying, right, coffee's not a drink, it's a way of life.
Exactly. And it's a perfect example of how cultural practices can evolve and innovate while still holding on to their essence.
I love that. And, beyond coffee, there's also all this incredible craftsmanship and traditional music to explore.
Oh, yeah. You've got those intricate wood carvings, the weaving, those beautiful traditional instruments like the saz, which has roots in the Ottoman era, but it's still being reinterpreted by modern musicians today.
Wow, that's amazing how cultures find ways to adapt and keep those traditions alive and vibrant,
It really is a testament to the human spirit. And speaking of resilience, it's really interesting to see how Bosnia and Herzegovina is embracing all these modern technological advancements, even with everything they've been through.
Right. That was something that really stood out to me, too, their involvement in EU research programs like Horizon Europe and Digital Europe. I have to admit I wasn't too familiar with those before we started this deep dive.
So Horizon Europe, it's basically the EU's main funding program for research and innovation, and it covers a wide range of fields from healthcare to climate change to just all sorts of stuff. In Digital Europe, that one focuses more specifically on helping European societies and economies go digital.
Ah, I see. So for Bosnia and Herzegovina being part of these programs, it's not just about the funding, it's about connecting with all these other researchers and innovators across Europe.
Exactly. It's a fantastic opportunity for collaboration and knowledge sharing, and it's really helping to fuel the growth of these tech hubs in Sarajevo and Banja Luka.
Those are the cities where you see all those startups popping up, right?
Yeah, exactly. You've got all these young entrepreneurs who are really eager to use technology to tackle both local and global challenges. It's really inspiring to see.
It's like they're building these bridges, not just physical ones, but bridges of knowledge and collaboration.
And speaking of bridges, we can't forget about those initiatives focused on youth empowerment, especially in education and healthcare. It's crucial given the challenges that young people are facing there.
Yeah, that's so important. Amidst all this talk of technology and economic development, it's really heartening to see that focus on investing in future generations, you know,
Yeah.
giving them the skills and resources they need to thrive.
Absolutely. And it's not just about technical skills either. It's about fostering critical thinking and creativity and a sense of responsibility, empowering them to be agents of change to really shape their own future and contribute to their nation's development.
It's truly inspiring to see that commitment to empowering young people. But before we delve too much deeper into those initiatives, I think it's important to acknowledge the elephant in the room, so to speak. The complexities of Bosnia and Herzegovina's recent history, particularly the conflicts of the 1990s.
Yeah, you're right. It's a sensitive topic for sure, but it's an integral part of their story. And as your research shows, even amidst the tragedy of war, there were these glimmers of innovation. But maybe innovation isn't quite the right word in this context.
Yeah, I get what you mean. It's more about the human capacity to adapt and find solutions in really tough circumstances.
Yeah.
Your research mentioned how they developed all these improvised weapons and communication systems during the war simply out of necessity.
Exactly. And one of the things that really stood out to me was their use of drones for reconnaissance. I mean, drones are everywhere in modern warfare now, but back then it was really ahead of its time. It shows a remarkable level of resourcefulness.
It really does. It's a reminder that innovation isn't always about cutting-edge technology. Sometimes it's about making do with what you have and finding creative solutions to problems.
Couldn't agree more. And it's fascinating to see how that wartime ingenuity has, in some ways, shaped their modern arms industry. Companies like Unis Frotech and Igman DD, they're exporting their products globally now. It's a complex legacy for sure.
It really is. Yeah. But before we get too caught up in the present, let's step back in time, way back, and explore some of those ancient legacies that have contributed to Bosnia and Herzegovina's innovative spirit.
I'm always up for a little time travel, and it's important to remember that this is a region that's been a crossroads of civilizations for centuries, a meeting point for so many different cultures, empires, and ideas.
And that confluence of influences have definitely played a role in shaping their innovative spirit. So where should we start our journey?
How about with a structure that embodies both beauty and engineering brilliance? The Ottoman-era Mostar Bridge, your pictures, they really capture its grandeur, but it's the underlying engineering that's truly remarkable.
Oh, absolutely. It's easy to be mesmerized by the elegant arch and the picturesque setting, but to think it was built in the 16th century without any modern construction techniques, it's mind-blowing.
It really is the way those massive stones are fitted together, the strategic placement of the supporting piers, the use of wooden scaffolding during construction. It's a testament to the ingenuity of those Ottoman architects and the skill of the local craftsmen.
And it's still standing today, a symbol of both architectural brilliance and the enduring legacy of the Ottoman Empire in Bosnia and Herzegovina.
Truly remarkable. And speaking of the Ottoman Empire, it's also worth mentioning the role Bosnia and Herzegovina played in facilitating trade along the Balkan route.
Yes. That major trade route for centuries. It was a vital artery for the exchange of goods, technologies, and ideas between Europe and Asia. It's incredible to imagine all those merchants, travelers, scholars buzzing around exchanging knowledge and stories.
It must have been a real melting pot of innovation, and Bosnia and Herzegovina was right at its heart.
It's amazing to think about the impact that had on the development of the region and even the wider world. And speaking of historical significance, you also had some notes on medieval metallurgy and weapon making in Bosnia and Herzegovina.
I did, yeah. Your research indicates that this region was known for its skilled blacksmiths and metalworkers. They produced some seriously high-quality weapons, swords, armor, you name it. They were sought after all over Europe.
So even way back in the medieval period, we're seeing evidence of their craftsmanship and innovation contributing to the military technologies of the time.
Exactly, and those skills, they were passed down through generations,
Yeah.
laying the groundwork for their modern manufacturing industries. It's a really fascinating thread to follow through their history.
Speaking of threads through history, what about those intriguing medieval tombstones you mentioned, the Stećci, they sound unlike anything I've ever seen before.
They really are unique. Your photographs, they do a great job of capturing their beauty and the intricate carvings. But imagine these massive stone monoliths adorned with all sorts of motifs, geometric patterns, hunting scenes, battles, even some enigmatic symbols that historians still debate the meaning of.
Wow, it's like each tombstone tells a story offering a glimpse into the lives and beliefs of the people who lived in medieval Bosnia and Herzegovina.
Exactly, and they've been recognized by UNESCO as a World Heritage Site, which speaks volumes about their artistic and cultural significance. They're a testament to the creativity and craftsmanship that have been present in this region for centuries.
What a journey we've taken already, from ancient bridges and medieval metalworkers to modern tech hubs and the complexities of their recent history. It's so clear that Bosnia and Herzegovina's innovative spirit is deeply rooted in their past, present, and future.
Absolutely. And we've only just scratched the surface. There's so much more to uncover, so many more threads to connect.
I'm already eager to delve deeper, but for now, let's take a moment to reflect on everything we've explored so far.
A wise suggestion. It's not just about accumulating information, it's about making sense of it all, connecting the dots and drawing insights from this wealth of knowledge.
Exactly. So what stands out to you from our exploration so far? What key themes or patterns have we encountered?
Well, one overarching theme that really strikes me is this incredible blend of tradition and modernity, you know? From the Ottoman era coffee culture to those cutting-edge tech startups, we see this constant interplay between preserving their heritage and embracing new ideas and technologies.
It's like they're weaving a tapestry using threads from their past to create something new and vibrant for the future. And that brings to mind another key takeaway, their resilience.
Oh, absolutely. Whether it's rebuilding after conflicts or adapting to changing global trends, they have this remarkable capacity to overcome challenges and emerge stronger.
And that resilience, it's fueled in part by their innovative spirit, their willingness to experiment, to find creative solutions, to push boundaries.
You said it's really inspiring, and it makes me even more curious to see what the future holds for Bosnia and Herzegovina, you know, what unique contributions they'll make to the world in the coming decades. But that's a conversation for another time.
It is indeed for now. Let's savor the knowledge we've gained and allow these insights to percolate a bit.
That was quite a journey through time. All those ancient innovations we talked about, it's amazing how they still resonate in modern Bosnia and Herzegovina, you know?
I know, it's like their history is this springboard for their future, shaping how they approach technology culture, even their place in the global landscape.
And speaking of their place in the world, you had some really interesting stuff about their efforts to integrate into the global economy. It's a tough world out there, so how are they finding their niche?
Well, it seems like they're focusing on a few key areas. One is definitely leveraging their skilled workforce, especially in the tech sector. We talked about those tech hubs in Sarajevo and Banja Luka. They're attracting some serious international attention and investment.
Right, and it's not just about coding, it's about creativity, problem solving. Those are the skills that are in high demand these days.
Exactly. And then beyond tech, there's this real emphasis on promoting their craftsmanship and cultural heritage, like using them as unique selling points. I was reading about efforts to revitalize those traditional crafts like woodworking and weaving, and then marketing them to a global audience.
That's smart. In a world that's becoming increasingly homogenized, I think people are really craving those authentic experiences. And Bosnia and Herzegovina, they have so much to offer.
Totally. And their coffee culture, we can't forget about, that it's already getting international recognition, and I can totally see it becoming a major draw for tourists.
Imagine just walking through those cobblestone streets in Sarajevo, the smell of freshly brewed Bosnian coffee in the air, and then you settle into a cozy cafe, savor that rich aromatic brew, and maybe strike up a conversation with some locals.
Oh, that sounds amazing. And it highlights a key advantage they have, that East meets West charm, that comes from their history as this crossroads of civilizations.
Exactly. They're not trying to be like everyone else. They're embracing what makes them unique and using it as a strength.
And another strength they have is that drive to overcome obstacles. We talked about their resilience in the face of conflict, but that same determination is evident in their efforts to build a better future.
Yeah, those youth empowerment initiatives, those are a great example. You highlighted some programs that are all about giving young people the skills and knowledge they need to succeed in a world that's changing so fast.
Right. And it's not just about technical skills. It's about fostering critical thinking, creativity, and that sense of social responsibility. These are the things we need to build a sustainable and equitable future.
It's about giving them the tools to become change makers, to shape their own destinies and contribute to their nation's development. That's powerful stuff.
It really is. It makes me wonder, though, given their history, how are they addressing the challenges of building a truly peaceful and inclusive society?
That's the million-dollar question, right? There's no easy answer.
Yeah.
But from what I've seen, fostering dialogue and understanding between different communities, that seems to be a key element.
There was this article you included about a youth program that brings together young people from different ethnic and religious backgrounds. They work on these collaborative projects together. It's really fostering empathy and breaking down barriers.
Exactly, and it's those kinds of grassroots initiatives that can make a real difference, you know?
It's about recognizing that their diversity is a strength, not a weakness.
Couldn't agree more. And speaking of recognizing strengths, let's bring back the arms industry, something we touched upon earlier. It's a tricky one. How do you think Bosnia and Herzegovina can navigate this sensitive terrain?
It's definitely a balancing act. On one hand, they have a responsibility to make sure their arms exports are ethical and responsible, adhering to all those international standards and regulations. But on the other hand, the arms industry, it does provide jobs and contribute to the economy.
So how do you strike that balance?
I think it's about transparency, accountability, a real commitment to peace and stability they need to make sure that their arms exports aren't fueling conflicts or human rights abuses.
And diversifying their economy, investing in other sectors that can create more sustainable growth so they're not so reliant on arms sales.
Absolutely. It's about building a future where peace and prosperity, they go hand in hand.
Now let's talk about something a little more uplifting. Those cultural innovations we touched upon earlier, the coffee culture, the traditional music, the craftsmanship, all these amazing assets that can help Bosnia and Herzegovina thrive on a global scale.
I agree. We live in a world that's craving authenticity. Those experiences that connect us to different cultures and traditions in Bosnia and Herzegovina, they have such a rich tapestry to offer.
It's about finding ways to package those offerings in a way that appeals to a global audience, Tourists, investors, cultural enthusiasts, creating experiences that are both authentic and accessible.
And telling the stories behind those traditions, sharing the history, the craftsmanship that makes them so special.
Turning their cultural heritage into a competitive advantage.
And it's a win-win, right? Not only does it boost the economy, but it also helps preserve those traditions for future generations.
Speaking of future generations, those youth empowerment initiatives we talked about, it's really encouraging to see that emphasis on giving young people the tools they need to succeed in a world that's changing so rapidly.
It's crucial investing in education, healthcare skills development. These are the foundations for a brighter future. And it's inspiring to see how many organizations and initiatives are dedicated to this.
From coding boot camps to entrepreneurial incubators, there's this real energy around empowering young people to become agents of change.
And it's not just about technical skills. Again, it's about fostering critical thinking, creativity, a sense of social responsibility.
Preparing them to be leaders, innovators, problem solvers.
Exactly. Giving them the tools to tackle those big 21st century challenges and build a more sustainable, equitable, and prosperous world.
And speaking of challenges, let's not forget about the legacy of the 1990s conflicts. It's a wound that's still healing, and it's important to acknowledge the impact it continues to have on Bosnia and Herzegovina.
It's a sensitive topic, but it's part of their story and something they need to grapple with in order to move forward.
So how do they reconcile with the past while building a better future?
It's a long and complex process, but it starts with dialogue, acknowledging the pain and suffering that occurred on all sides.
And finding ways to bridge those divides to build trust and understanding between different communities.
Creating a shared vision for the future, one that's based on peace, tolerance, and mutual respect.
And making sure that the lessons learned from the past aren't forgotten, that they serve as a reminder of how important peace and reconciliation truly are.
Turning the darkness of the past into a beacon of hope for the future.
We've covered a lot of ground today, from ancient bridges to modern tech hubs, wartime ingenuity, cultural treasures. It's safe to say that Bosnia and Herzegovina has a pretty remarkable story to tell.
A story of resilience, creativity, and the unwavering human spirit.
But it's also a story that's still being written.
And that's what makes it so exciting. The future of Bosnia and Herzegovina is full of possibilities, and I, for one, can't wait to see what they achieve. But you know what else I find fascinating?
What's that?
How all these seemingly disparate pieces, the ancient history, recent conflicts, technological advancements, cultural traditions, how they all fit together to create this intricate puzzle that is Bosnia and Herzegovina.
You're right. It's like we've been assembling this mosaic piece by piece, and now we're starting to see the full picture emerge. And it's beautiful, it's complex, and it's inspiring.
It really is. It makes me realize that innovation isn't just about creating something new. It's also about connecting the dots, about seeing those patterns and possibilities that emerge when seemingly unrelated ideas and experiences collide.
And that's what Bosnia and Herzegovina does so well. They take their history, their culture, their challenges, their aspirations, and they weave them together into something new and vibrant.
Like they're constantly reinventing themselves, drawing from their past to shape their future.
That's what makes them so fascinating to study. They're a living testament to the power of human ingenuity, resilience, and adaptation.
They're a nation that defies easy categorization, and that's what makes them so compelling.
It's been an enlightening journey so far. What final insights have you gathered from your research as we wrap up this deep dive?
It really is that interconnectedness, that ability to blend all these seemingly different things that makes Bosnia and Herzegovina so fascinating when it comes to innovation.
And it's not just an academic thing either, There are real lessons we can all take away from their experiences.
Oh, totally. Like we've talked so much about their focus on youth empowerment. And it's not just about the technical skills, right? It's about nurturing that creativity, critical thinking, and a sense of responsibility.
Giving them the power to be a part of shaping their own future, it's a lesson that goes way beyond any one place or culture.
Absolutely. It makes you think about how we often approach things like education and development with such a limited perspective, focusing only on the economic side of things. But in Bosnia and Herzegovina, it feels like they're taking a more holistic approach, recognizing that real progress means investing in the well-being and agency of their young people.
Exactly. And it's working. You can see it in this new generation of Bosnians. They're not just technically skilled, they're socially conscious, globally connected, and they really want to make a positive impact.
It's so inspiring. And it ties into another big takeaway from our deep dive, the importance of embracing diversity as a strength.
You mean like their history as a crossroads of civilizations, that blend of Eastern and Western influences?
Exactly. It would be so easy for them to shy away from that complexity, try to fit into some neat little box, but instead they're using that unique blend of cultures and perspectives to their advantage.
And it's not just about cultural diversity either, right? We've also seen how they're embracing diversity of thought, bringing together people from different backgrounds, different fields to collaborate and innovate.
Like those youth programs you mentioned where you have young people from different ethnic and religious groups working together to solve problems.
It reminds us that innovation often happens at those intersections,
Yeah.
where different ideas and experiences come together.
It's such a relevant lesson in our world today. With everything becoming so interconnected, we need to be able to collaborate across borders, cultures, and disciplines if we're going to tackle these big challenges like climate change, pandemics, and economic inequality.
And Bosnia and Herzegovina, with their history of bridging divides and their focus on dialogue and understanding, maybe they can be a model for how we navigate these complex issues.
That's a really interesting thought. They might not have all the answers, but their experiences definitely offer valuable insights into the power of resilience adaptation and how embracing diversity can actually drive innovation and progress.
Wrapping up this deep dive, I'm feeling optimistic. Bosnia and Herzegovina's story, it really shows the strength of the human spirit, our ability to bounce back from tough times and create a better future, even when things seem really challenging.
I'm right there with you. It's been an amazing journey of discovery, and I hope everyone listening has not just learned more about Bosnia and Herzegovina's innovative spirit, but also come away with a renewed sense of hope and possibility for the future.
I couldn't have said it better myself. And who knows, maybe this deep dive will spark some curiosity and inspire people to learn even more about the rich history, culture, and innovations of Bosnia and Herzegovina.
That would be fantastic. It's a country that deserves more recognition, and I have a feeling they'll keep surprising and inspiring us for many years to come.